So there's this weird theme park thing I've been thinking a lot about recently. It's the Jungle Cruise adjacent restaurant at the Magic Kingdom, Skipper Canteen. Let me ask you this, have you ever been on an attraction and really enjoyed all the amazing set design and details, but you go by it so fast that you don't have time to soak it all in? Wow, I really loved Pirates of the Caribbean, but too bad I went by everything in seconds so I didn't get to enjoy it. Or I loved the Haunted Mansion, it was so spooky and fun, but I didn't get to see everything because I went by so fast. Well, lucky for you, because Pirates of the Caribbean is getting a themed bar across from the attraction at Magic Kingdom later this year. And the Haunted Mansion has its own themed bar on the Disney Treasure cruise ship. Great, now I have time to enjoy all the intricate design work you would see on some of these attractions and really sit down and enjoy everything. But the Pirates of the Caribbean bar isn't opening till later this year, and when it opens, it's probably going to be super crowded. And the Haunted Mansion bar is stuck on a cruise ship, and I'm not going to the Cayman Islands anytime soon, so when can I enjoy that? Well then, may I suggest another ornately designed attraction-themed restaurant at Adventureland in Magic Kingdom. So yes, this video is about a restaurant and not a ride, but wait, don't leave yet. I think this place is so cool, we do need to talk about it. You're really gonna like it. It's so incredibly colorful, widely detailed, delicious, funny, highly unique, and is the textbook definition of great theme park design and story, creating a more vibrant Disney experience. And I think it could take the prize for maybe the best theme park restaurant in all of Walt Disney World. Now, there's a lot of factors that go into what's actually the best restaurant at Walt Disney World. A, I haven't tried all of them because I don't have that kind of money. And B, we have a lot of competitors too, so we have a lot of different choices to look at. But for those of you who have been to Skipper Canteen know what I'm talking about, and those who haven't yet are about to be very convinced.
Hello everyone, my name is Drew Smith. I'm mostly known as Drew the Disney Dude, just covering Disney theme park stuff on social media. Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you ever went to Skipper Canteen?
I do. It's funny that you, whenever you first messaged me and you're like, Skipper Canteen, that's a big part of why I agreed to doing this in full transparency, because that's one of the restaurants, like a full service restaurant at Walt Disney World that I genuinely enjoy and have been to multiple times. Kind of just how it built on the storyline of Jungle Cruise and how in theme the servers were. It was definitely a fun experience, and that's why I wanted to go back.
So where did Skipper Canteen actually come from? Well, we actually have to go back a bit to October 1st, 1971, the opening of Magic Kingdom. The space originally housed a restaurant called Adventureland Veranda, designed by the incredibly talented but often overlooked Dorothea Redmond. Before Disney, Dorothea was a celebrated production designer on classic Hollywood movies. She worked on movies like Gone with the Wind, Rear Window, and The Ten Commandments. She also created the Disneyland Dream Suite, which is above Pirates of the Caribbean, and much of Main Street in Magic Kingdom, even those mosaic murals inside of Cinderella Castle. Dorothea's work alongside other women like Mary Blair actually helped shape a lot of what we think of inside of a Disney park experience, and often don't get enough credit. Adventureland Veranda was a laid-back counter-service spot serving hot snacks and soft drinks in a Polynesian setting. By 1977, it picked up a sponsorship from Kiko Man, the soy sauce, and expanded its menu to include teriyaki burgers with pineapple, stir-fried beef, and sweet and sour hot dogs. What is a sweet and sour hot dog? Now, the restaurant itself, we would say, has South Pacific French colonial vibes, which helps kind of bridge that Main Street Victorian architecture into the jungle theming of Adventureland. Eventually, Adventureland Veranda closed in 1994, and while the rest of the space was occasionally used for special events and character meet and greets, like the Pixie Hollow with Tinkerbell and Friends. Remember when there was like a Tinkerbell DVD that came out like every month? The theming for this meet and greet was pretty minimal and intended only as a temporary setup. But the space itself is too small to put in a ride, but also too big to bulldoze. So Imagineering brainstormed. There was ideas to bring the Aladdin's Oasis spot from Disneyland, trying to tie it into the Magic Carpet ride. A Tarzan restaurant was pitched, linked to the nearby Swiss Family Robinson treehouse. Even Tortuga Tavern was considered, but eventually moved across from Pirates of the Caribbean in 2011. Whatever the new restaurant was going to be, it had to expand upon something already inside of the Adventureland area in Magic Kingdom. So when the pitch came up for, what if we made a Jungle Cruise restaurant for skippers to go after they finished their tours, boom, the Skipper Canteen was born. But they didn't just stop there making it a Jungle Cruise themed restaurant. There's a lot of deep theme park lore inside of Skipper Canteen. So much so that we don't have time to go into all of it today, but it is one of the most detailed and interconnected Disney dining experiences in the world.
I just think the fact that when you're building on a story of an original attraction connected to Walt Disney, I think your diehard fan base is gonna love that. And I think it kind of adds to Magic Kingdom's lineup for sure, just in a way to increase the park's capacity while also doing something original, which I'm always gonna love when they do original things.
But enough chatting about how it got made. Let's actually go into the restaurant and the dining experience itself. When you're walking through Adventureland, you come across an ornate wooden sign with 2 gas lanterns above it. As you enter the beautiful brick courtyard, you'll get a great view of many pieces still left over from the Adventure Veranda location, just refurbished and painted a much more colorful style, but still keeping that 1930s vibe from the Jungle Cruise. Then you enter inside. The indoor waiting room has these beautiful sky blue walls stained with glass windows. I love the use of the 1930s furniture down from this old school fan over this oval sofa. In the room, there's a picture of the operator for the restaurant, Alberta Falls, done in an almost Picasso-esque style next to a portrait of her grandfather, Albert Falls, who's a character from the Jungle Cruise. Now we get to the dining rooms. If we actually wanted to break down every single piece of Easter eggs and artifacts inside of all of Skipper Canteen, this video would be 4 hours long, and I don't have time for that. So we're just gonna break down the 3 main dining rooms here. The first and biggest dining room is the mess hall, essentially themed to be a large break room for the Jungle Cruise characters to relax and hang out. I love the large blue ceiling here, the vintage chandeliers, relics of treasures hanging over all the walls, the banner for the first inaugural Jungle Cruise in-story, the fake second story with offices to previous skippers named to honor important Imagineers, everything down from the shaded window screens to the model ships and animal masks, all but feels like a great continuation of the great theming already on Jungle Cruise, but now you can actually sit down and take it all in. This dining room is especially great during the day because you have the large windows coming in and illuminating all the beautiful theming, and you get to see everything perfectly. 10 out of 10. Now the next room we have is the Jungle Room. Now this feels a lot more ornate and fancy than the mess hall with its fancy bird chandeliers, fine china in a glass case, fireplace with wooden carved elephants above, and a floral rug. It feels a lot more quaint and cozy in here and a lot more cute and respectful than the mess hall. Really feels like you're dining in a 1930s mansion. And the final room we have is a secret room. Ooh, secret room, except everybody knows about it. It's the S.E.A Room. Now I hope to make a S.E.A video later on, but to give a very brief synopsis of what S.E.A is in the Disney parks, S.E.A, or the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, is a group of adventurers that can be found in multiple Disney attractions around the world. This is their logo, and here is a mural of some of their members. Basically, it's like an Imagineered version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where specific rides, shops, and restaurants from all the Disney parks around the world make up this larger universe of characters and story. Some of the main attractions in the S.E.A universe include Tower of Terror at Tokyo Disney Sea, Mystic Manor at Hong Kong Disneyland, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Jungle Cruise, Soarin' Fantastic Flight at Tokyo Disney Sea, basically anything at Tokyo Disney Sea. See, that's what the C stands for. I'm a huge fan of the S.E.A universe, and I would like to see a lot more Society of Explorers and Adventurer rides. Hopefully in the future. I'm looking at you, Animal Kingdom. Now, the S.E.A Room at Skipper Canteen is filled to the brim with Easter eggs and hidden details. I love the giant maps everywhere. I love this beautiful intimate butterfly table, multiple murals everywhere. Actually, the first time I ever ate at Skipper Canteen, I got to eat in the S.E.A Room. So this is kind of my favorite room, and honestly, the first time I went there, I barely even sat at my table because I wanted to walk around and look at everything. It's so cool to see what we can find of old pictures of the old restaurant Adventure Veranda and how much more colorful and vibrant all these rooms are in comparison. Now, luckily, none of these rooms at Skipper Canteen are so insane that it's just so much fan service that you can't tell and know what's going on. I found this review by Tom Bricker, who runs the amazing Disney Tourist blog, who said the following: "There's a fine line between respectful, self-referential homage and over-the-top fan service. A location should be able to stand on its own thematically, adding to a common theme rather than devolving into simple tribute. Thankfully, these are only cautionary words in my opinion, as Skipper Canteen stays on the right side of that line, keeping its references to respectful homage."
But yeah, the restaurant's absolutely packed with details, and it's a very fun environment because I feel like a lot of the time people associate full service sit down restaurants with more of like a professional, classy tone. But this restaurant, you can go in for, a little over an hour and have fun. Like, in my opinion, it aligns perfectly with what Walt Disney World is all about, just having fun.
You see, maximalism is actually a big priority when it comes to designing restaurants and theme parks. You want to create environments that you can't get back home, so creating an elaborate, bold, and textured decor will have a longer effect on the guests. See, you don't want your dining room experience to be extremely minimalist and sterile like Chipotle or Sweetgreens. In fact, sometimes more cluttered and ostentatious restaurants like Rainforest Cafe or Planet Hollywood is more exciting. Skipper Canteen is firm in its design choices by making very detailed and ornate environments that complement both the Jungle Cruise ride and Adventureland as a whole, giving guests a unique experience you can't get anywhere else.
Themed dining at theme parks is so unique in the sense just that people make a living and this is like their entire life just off a restaurant. Like, I don't think people realize how many years of thought process just goes into one location. A lot of time with Disney, people just think of how many rides can we go on, the lighting lanes. But there's so many things that make Disney, and without these actual themed experiences, I don't think Walt Disney World is what it is.
Okay, back to Skipper Canteen. Now, continuing the theme and ironic fun of the Jungle Cruise ride, the serving staff here are also in characters as skippers. They make super silly jokes, just like the ride, lots of puns and jokes that will make your eyes roll. It's all incredibly silly and very fun. An example of this might be how your server wants to show you the highlights of the dining room and then just points at the chandeliers. And on top of everything we've said about this place, the food here is delicious. It's honestly some of the best theme park food I've ever had. The drinks are incredible. I really love the Perkins Thai noodles a lot. I like the falafel appetizer. Everything has a different variety of cuisines from all around the world. There's just so much colorfulness in the food, and it's such a notch above anything you can even find at Magic Kingdom. Now, there are tons of these highly interactive and intricate themed restaurants around the country, and there are a bunch actually at Walt Disney World, and I wanted to put them down to a list. I couldn't come up with a cool name, so we're just gonna go with Walt Disney World restaurants where the servers are also acting. So I'm only counting Disney World restaurants where cast members are playing a silly version of themselves or a character. So here's what I could come up with. Be Our Guest, Magic Kingdom. Now, a lot of people actually try to compare Be Our Guest and Skipper Canteen together, but I don't think it's a really fair comparison. Yes, they do have 3 separate dining areas and the cast members are in character, but besides that, that's kind of where the comparison stops. Like, first off, where are the windows in Be Our Guest? I mean, like actual windows, not the cool fake one with snow going outside. The Be Our Guest West Wing dining room is super dark and moody. I want to sleep in this room. The big difference between Be Our Guest and Skipper Canteen is that Be Our Guest is maybe the most popular restaurant in all of Walt Disney World. A lot of people have been recommending if you want to eat at Be Our Guest, you need to reserve your table up to 60 days in advance to eat here. Now, apparently the staff used to take you to your table holding a Lumiere statue, which is rad. A lot of them act as if they are servants to the beast, and when he walks around the dining areas, they will act as if he's their boss, which is pretty fun. 50s Primetime Cafe, Disney's Hollywood Studios. Now, this might be the king of the acting category. Honestly, it might be even better than Skipper Canteen at this. Not only are their staff acting as if you're related to them, but they pull off a full act to keep telling you to put your elbows off the table, and if you've parked your bikes outside before you came in, all of it having this feeling you were just sucked into a 1950s sitcom. And you can get rewarded for having good behavior and getting part of something called the Clean Plate Club. It seems like a lot of people are a little bit annoyed by the whole act that's going on at the 50s Primetime Cafe, but honestly, I think if you're down for it, it's really fun. Whispering Canyon Cafe, Disney's Wilderness Lodge. This restaurant has a lot more chaotic and playful waitstaff. If you ask for ketchup, they'll normally bring you like 12 bottles of ketchup, or if you ask for a refill of Coke, they'll bring you like a gallon-sized mason jar of Coke. There's other things like throwing a load of straws on your table or a random sing-along, and the servers yelling at each other over the dining room for jokes. This place is a lot more kitschy and old school kind of fun, and that's maybe just given the location, but I think this place is super fun. Space 220, Epcot. I'm not sure how much this experience actually counts, but it seems like the serving staff and the cast members are doing a good job of making you feel like you're in space. Pretty much from the elevator trip up to the restaurant, all of the staff make you feel like you're really dining on a space station. Also, when they show off the produce spinning box in the hallway, they do a good job of showing you around the spaceship. They're not making jokes at you that much, but they're doing a good job of staying in character. Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater, Disney's Hollywood Studios. Now, a lot of guest interaction here is a lot more sarcastic and silly, mostly like the waitstaff will make jokes about how silly and cheesy the movie is you're watching on the big screen is. I've also heard a lot of the waitstaff making fun of how dark it is inside the restaurant. This is super popular restaurant like Be Our Guest in Magic Kingdom, and it's probably the most popular restaurant at Disney's Hollywood Studios, but it isn't as much of an entire production of acting like the 50s Primetime Cafe, but still has that retro charm. It's more like the waitstaff is like your own Mystery Science Theater 3000. So why are we talking about restaurants like Skipper Canteen? What if I just want a cheeseburger and air conditioning? What's the whole point of these goofy interactive restaurants in the first place, and why do they matter? Well, there's a couple reasons for that. A big one is that these kind of restaurants are few and far between. Even in the most magical place on Earth, these super unique dining experiences are not really being made anymore. Even the new Pirates of the Caribbean themed bar we're about to get, which will have some level of interactivity in it, I don't think will be as intricate or interactive as something as, say, Trader Sam's. And as cool as the new Spaceship Earth lounge is, I'm just not really as sold on how highly themed a lot of these new bars and lounges are. Now, you can argue that most people don't care about these kind of interactive restaurants, but they also sell out of reservations a lot faster than a lot of the other ones. It's basically these kinds of highly unique interactive restaurants and anything with a character meet and greet that require reservations months in advance. You can argue this is from an increasing demand from all the different visitors, but from looking at different guest surveys that Disney World is sending out and chatter online, it seems that people who go to Walt Disney World want highly themed immersive experiences in every part of their vacation. Not just the rides, but also the hotels, the character interactions, the merchandise, and the food. The whole Disney bubble works way better when you can only get experiences at Walt Disney World that are highly unique, and that includes restaurants. Give guests something they can't get anywhere else.
There's so many things that make this Walt Disney World Resort that people don't. I honestly think a lot of the general family is just coming here on that potential once-in-a-lifetime vacation, and unfortunately I don't even think they know what's here sometimes. Like, I think a lot of the fact with social media that is kind of unfortunate is what people think reality is with Disney versus the actual reality of what you can do if you really put the time, thought, effort into researching a trip and then taking advantage of that completely.
Now, some people might not care as much. They might just say, let me eat my salad in peace. And that's valid. I totally get that. And there's lots of places to do that at Walt Disney World. But if there's anything you get out of this channel is that theme park design goes way beyond just castles and coasters. It's intricate to every piece of the guest's day. Whether it's adding a bunch of artifacts on the wall and calling it a restaurant like Skipper Canteen, having things on the menu that say, tastes like chicken, ... because it is on the menu. While Skipper Canteen isn't as interactive as 50's Primetime Cafe or Whispering Canyon Cafe, they're not going to insult you for not finishing your hummus at Skipper Canteen. But Skipper Canteen is just enough interactiveness that it's fun for the entire family. To me, Easter eggs are just one piece of the puzzle that makes Skipper Canteen easily my favorite restaurant in all of Walt Disney World. It's got great theming, it's got great service, it's got amazing food, it's got the best vibes out of any restaurant in all of Magic Kingdom. It's exactly what I'm looking for in a themed restaurant, and it's what other people are looking for too. What do you think they're gonna do next? Do you feel like they're gonna do anything with Monsters or Villains Land coming forward?
With Monsters, Inc., I am super excited for Harryhausen's. Like, I think that Harryhausen's is a very unique opportunity to bring those characters that we kind of saw in the background in Monsters, Inc. when, Mike's on his date, to maybe bring them to life in digital media. And this is the first time we're really stepping into Monstropolis where they need our laughter. So if they need our laughter, then make this restaurant fun to where people are laughing in the restaurant itself. But for Villains Land, I'm really curious on the whole twisted word that they keep using. They keep saying it's on an incredibly twisted scale. With the story of Villains Land, when you're having a spell bringing all these villains together for the first time ever in a theme park, like, there's literally endless potential here. Also, just the fact that this could be like the first ever villains character dining experience in Magic Kingdom, like, that would just be such a cool experience. It's fascinating how just, our one conversation about dining can open so many doors to experiencing other things at this resort as a whole.
So, what about you? Are you a fan of Skipper Canteen like me? I want to know what other people think are their favorite restaurants at Walt Disney World. I've heard California Grill, I've heard Tiffin's, I've heard Boma, I've heard Satula Canteen, I've heard Pizza Rizzo for some reason. Comment down below, let me know what your favorite restaurant at Walt Disney World is, and remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more thoughts on theme park design.